to go to bed after the talk show.
I know that we are much live.
Cool.
That doesn't answer the
On
question. though.
YouTube.
That's exciting.
That is exciting.
You know what else is exciting?
Hello and welcome to the Villains Talk Show.
No,
Oh,
mostly
Yeah,
hats would
mostly
be
hats?
very exciting.
Exciting.
No, hats.
Hats.
exciting. I love cats.
Cats and
Alright.
hats are even better.
We're good.
Cats and bats are
cat-
pretty
the
good
cat-
too.
The cat in my hat.
Ooh. Cats and hats
Just
eating
think.
rats and bats?
Just think, like a big old cat with a hat with a baseball bat eating a child.
Man, so many things rhyme.
Yes, I would do.
Good. Internet connection is caught up. I think we're all
Definitely not an actual thing from a very beloved children's movie.
Hello and welcome
That's horrifying.
to the Villains Talk Show and podcast. I am one of your hosts, C4. Vike. Beside her is
I thought I was
Insanieac.
C4.
Below us is the Great Grease Goblin. Next to us is Sir Jeremy. And today's Wednesday. And hopefully the stream is lagging. I'm trying to do the magical thing where I stream on you as well. But I can't tell. I can't tell how it's coming out. So if you're in the chat, let me know if it's laggy, and I will just scrap the YouTube thing. Because I'm trying
It's
to.
laggy.
Yeah. How's the sound quality at least?
Seems alright.
On a scale of 1 to 10,
Seems alright.
Me too.
Seems alright.
So don't accept mine
checking
as anything
YouTube.
other than a random number.
I'm checking the Twitch.
Well, I hope things kind of.
YouTube is very quiet.
YouTube are quiet?
Yeah, YouTube is quiet, but Twitch is fine.
Okay.
It's actually pretty loud. You're welcome. I'm checking both. You're welcome.
Thank you.
Twitch is
So we are the Villains Talk Show podcast, and today is Wednesday night. So I'm going to assume, since the audio is good, you're not really here to watch us. You're here to listen to us. Hopefully,
Oh, I thought they were here to watch us.
that smooths out over time.
Well,
Why do I even have a
sometimes
face?
people watch us.
I might as well
Right?
just cut it off at this point. Where's the
Yeah,
knife?
we don't need
You're so
faces.
gorgeous, Sarah. The only people who don't see you are those listening on the podcast, which you can listen to previous episodes.
Or
Anywhere
if you want to see our
podcasts.
lovely faces, come check us out on Twitch.
But
Yeah,
anywhere
that's
you get
ridiculous.
podcasts,
Don't
you listen to
watch
old
us on
episodes or check us on Twitch. Yeah.
And if you want to do a podcast of your own, we do our podcast through BuzzFeed. Yeah, be sure to check them out if you're really interested. You can start up them. It's free. Pretty easy.
Buzzsprout.
And we got
Not-
it set up.
not
We're
BuzzFeed.
going
Yeah, it's not BuzzFeed.
BuzzFeed.
Yeah, no, not BuzzFeed.
Man, I shot the bet on that one.
We have no
Very different.
affiliation with
Definitely
BuzzFeed.
shot
Yeah, not
that.
BuzzFeed. Buzzsprout.
Buzzsprout.
Yeah, I shot the bet.
Buzzsprout.
Buzzsprout.
Being
I know
said-
things and stuff.
As you can see at the bottom, today's topic, or read if you're today's topic.
I'd
is,
also like to say quickly thanks to For the Wheel for being our wonderful.
Oh, that's right, our only-
We love you
Yeah.
so much.
Thank you.
If you want to become a
You're
minion
the
or
one
Patreon,
that's
feel free to support below.
hopefully-
You don't have to, but we appreciate it so much if you do. We will shout you out every time we start the stream. I always remember.
Until porn.
And we will. It comes with a number of different benefits, wonderful things. First on coming for interviewing part of the talk show and Tavern Tales and all this wonderful things. So yeah, if you feel free to check out the link below, don't have to, but if you want, thank you so much. Thank you.
Yeah. Today's topic, dreams. Weird topic, I know.
They happen when you sleep.
Oh, so
Um,
Do they?
Sometimes.
There's a lot to it. I mean, in one sense, recently I pointed Insanieac to this article that MIT had come up with a dream machine that actually maps your dreams and turns it
I
and
already knew
records
about
them
that.
visually. So you can actually re-record.
I didn't
your
know
dreams.
that. I didn't know it was the way that they were processing it was data,
Which
which is pretty cool. Which is pretty cool. It's great to know they're advancing that technology every day and coming up with new great things with it.
And on the other hand, there's people that swear that dreams are more real than reality. So, dreams are an interesting topic. Also, some people who may or may not be in this group think that their dreams can be premonitions. And so we're gonna have fun today with dreams. That
Talk about
That
different-
elusive
different
thing.
substance. If you're not familiar with some of them, now you might be learning.
Just like Sir Jeremy.
Elusive. Just like
Always
in sleep
elusive.
sometimes. Some people can't even get
And we
sleep.
always chase him in our dreams.
That's
We
creepy.
always chase them in our dreams.
How do you feel, Jeremy, the fact that apparently we're all dreaming about you?
That way, I'm not dreaming.
Yeah.
We're all feeling the dream.
Oh man, I think we're busted, guys. I think we're busted. Yeah.
It's not helping.
We've been doing Inception this whole Steel Dreams, but you're live
my
living
bad.
as well.
So sorry. I'm so sorry. Man.
Yeah.
So I might as well stop the topic because I'll be honest. What you're about is nuts, but I don't give a shit. So I have dream journals from back when I was like, I think the one earliest one. If I go back, I was actually looking at them recently, which is what made me think of the topic. My earliest one is 12 years old, and ever since I was 12 years old, I have basically had what I call a dreamscape. It's like this entire, we'll call it an island for now, that I've completely mapped out in my dreams. And through all in dreaming, 99% of my dreams always take place in this giant area. And there's multiple sections, multiple biomes, as you could call it. And I have full details on them in my books. And in my dreams, I can visit these places. And they're always there. And structures there that don't move. And it's very sedimentary. And so when it's very interesting because I can go in my dream and, well, as I'm dreaming, and in my dream, I can remember places in my dream. And then when I get out, I can look back, and actually I'll find it and be like, yep, been here, map this out. Oh, that was in this section. Oh, that's cool. And that's always been my interaction with dreams. I always considered it, I mean, on the most rational, I considered it based network of psyche and how my psyche works. And maybe when I dream, it's just a way that I visit different memories or different feelings that I have. But at the same time, it's just an interesting thing. I've brought a few people, especially like a therapist that I go to. I brought her all my dream journals, and she just looked at them and she just goes, "That this is insane. It's all one area." I'm like, "Yep, it's pretty much." But yeah,
Really cool.
Really interesting in the aspect of of dreamscapes, because I don't imagine. I imagine everyone has different kind of sense of dreams. I've never experienced that dreamscape. Never had to really map out this, and it's like talking with you in a sense a little bit in between your own personal time. The way that you the dreamscapes, your dream journals is really interesting. Things that you've been able to see in places and things these are places active. It's just I've never thought of the whole idea of it's pretty cool. I like it. I like the idea of exploring it a bit more when you're talking a little bit off.
In a bit,
really something I like.
A bit later, I can go into the real details of what I mean dreamscape. But let's keep it open to the class and see who has spoken in a long time, and I mean a long time.
Sara.
Who could have been
the elusive gentleman?
Yes. Tell us all about your non-existent.
No here.
Tell me about dreams. Oh, ghost on the wall.
The Lord Night has regaled us with his presence.
And dreams teething. I don't know what it is. I don't know. Maybe I have to teach. It's the last.
Yeah.
Like.
Wait,
no, I.
Oh, I don't know.
Huge,
just ones that are extra weird. Some usually running away from people. I don't know. As far as dreams, I never experienced what you are talking about, but I certainly younger there were houses. I know that neither of them are places I've ever been. One of them was I can sort of see aspects of my parents' house and a couple friends' houses in it. Massive, just all wood paneling. And I could wander around it for hours in my dreams. And it doesn't exist as far as I know. It's not a real place. There's nothing about it that reflects parts of my... It's been interesting because I still, probably 20 years later, still remember it very... I still remember different rooms. And from that, despite the fact that I know very well it's not a place. So...
Now,
have you been able to, have you been able to move around it, to explore it?
No.
It's just been things happening.
Yeah, and it's been a very long time since I dreamt about it.
That's interesting, though.
Mm-hmm.
something from experience a little bit. I've growing up had a number of different series of weird dreams growing up, which leads to a lot of time kind of trying to understand what that means. And I've learned how to interpret my dreams and look into dream interpretation in a sense and understanding how to identify a dream, how to identify nightmares, how to identify what types of dreaming and things like that, or something. Look at maybe different signs of what dreams are to what could be meaning to you in a sense. A lot of, I guess, the research I've kind of I've learned that a lot of that dreams are usually it's mine. Sometimes it's the most tangible thing that people can kind of connect with on a science basis. Is that your you wouldn't have access to while you're awake, and it allows you to kind of receive information or that you would be or you've kind of I don't know, a number of different things. And so it's very interesting to see some of these kind of aspects because when C4 was talking about the dream there, it kind of takes a lot of that measurement of your brain, the way they used to do it was they used to measure the brain, the electrical activity and brainwaves in your brain, and it would essentially make a map and a picture of the things. But now they've, from what a bit earlier, they reading into the movements of your eyes and being able to record essentially a reflection to record that and then register it as a playback for you, which is amazing. That's super huge and super cool because the entire time that you're sleeping, your brain and your body is is still active. You're just not doing anything, you know? And there's a lot of kind of been dreaming, and, there's a sense of just meaning of what happened. Psychological or philosophical and spiritual meanings of what it means when you dream. People talk about what's called lucid dreaming, which means essentially kind of forcing yourself to dream, have essentially a measure. And being able to do so comes with a level of like self-aware when you're in a dream, being able to identify qualities that you wouldn't normally have in reality, obviously. And with that, you essentially start being able to count certain walls and realize you're setting the rules, and you can start creating your own dreams if you want, and readjusting different. And at least the way I've kind of experienced the sort of sense, and I've known a number of people kind of had that aspect, and it's the state of lucid dreaming. And being able to quite literally build a universe and do whatever you want in your dream and, make your own dreamscape, essentially, the way, C4 is kind of talked about. So it's really, the way I like to talk to C4 is, I liked exploring what that dreamscape kind of was. Is it is a sense, a state of lucid dreaming to be able to make a dreamscape in a sense. And then another level of what describe another dreamscape is astral projection, which people kind of describe as leaving your body. But another way you could kind of describing it is sharing the dreamscape of the entire planet, traveled to essentially people's dreams in France and in India and all these places, and it literally is the entire planet. You're visiting these places, but it's in while you're dreaming, where the entire this huge dreamscape passively, subconsciously, as when you understand your area where you are, all the safety and non-safe things that are around you as a being of this planet. Maybe there's electrical hazards over here that I have my fire alarm or things like this, right? You register these things subconsciously too, so that way if these things happen, you'll wake up. So in your dreams, you build a network where where you're sleeping, where you're everything around you.
There's also like that Scottish woman, that really famous story of like some lady in the United States that had these vivid dreams about this woman in Scotland or someplace. And I think it was Scotland. And castle, and she goes there, and it's actually a real place. Is she a real person from the past?
Yeah,
there's always that. Really, there's always the possibility.
Yeah, that's absolutely true too, and that's something that another kind of level of dream interpretation likes to everyone, and I've kind of talked about it a bit in previous talk show things, the past or past lives and things like that. Sometimes people will see things from like they'll talk to spirits or they'll things like that. They'll see buildings and castles or trees and stuff that weren't originally. and you can interact with these things because they are in a previous, essentially a past of what that is. So you can fully interact with all this stuff because it used to exist, and people can visit a spirit that lives in this moment, and that depends on how you kind of believe in your interaction. What is a safe interaction with spirit? What isn't? Some people would ward against it, and I would definitely say if you are interacting with those things, you have to protect yourself against certain that. I would recommend against it because you could do things hurt yourself.
If you believe in that. I mean,
I'm just for the people that do and that don't.
That's all psychological, and that the stuff that happens from this magical shit is just
absolutely. But I'm putting this out there for the people that do and may not have information. Just if you are unsure about it, to learn more knowledge and research a bit. Like I said, take the time to understand it a bit more, because if you don't, you could really hurt yourself or other people. It's best to practice whatever your beliefs are in a safe space and a safe environment where you're not hurting others, and you can feel comfortable.
I sort of ran into a problem with that this year. Someone who I care about a lot who has researched topics like astral projection and stuff, was just trying to explain them to some other younger people, and he didn't necessarily do the best job, and we were without internet, so no one else could look it up, and it got a little dicey.
Oh yeah, the person that was praising the Satans. I remember that person.
No, it wasn't actually.
That's what your church said, and I mean, who was going to argue the church?
Who knows?
I mean, not really. No one knew about it but me. And sister, actually.
Well, let's move our discussion.
It's those levels of this is essentially you're interacting with levels of subconscious in your mind, so you have to be careful. You have to be safe. You don't want to hurt yourself. You don't want to do something that might actually be damaging. So take your time, do something, whatever you feel comfortable with. If you feel not scary, it's not approachable, take the time to maybe approach it a different time.
Easy boy.
Yes.
Tell us about the dreams of a supple 20-year-old.
That last dream I actively was around like 10.
Wow.
After that, I remember it fully that in that dream I died.
Wait, do you have red hair?
And after that, what?
Do you have?
You do have hair. Half his hair is red and half is black.
Do you have freckles too?
Dude, you work with him. You should know this.
What is happening?
I've never taken a good look.
What is happening?
I mean, now my hair's red.
Stop.
I have no idea what's happening. What is?
Quiet. What is happening?
Trying to call him a ginger?
Stop.
Sarah called for.
I don't know why you're drawing attention to.
I was just simply asking.
You were quite. That's drawing
about his.
That's drawing
about his natural beauty and allegations.
We're making observations. We haven't.
Please, Greasy Boy, continue amidst these horrid.
I'm on this point.
But yeah, after that, I just ended a dreamscape, but not actually a dreamscape, if that makes sense.
No,
continue.
Not at all.
I was saying I would be interested.
Not even.
I also can't at the same time.
I understand.
Like everything around you, as in the bookshelf behind you, like the real.
Everything in there too.
What else? Your subconscious makes essentially a map around you of everything around you while you're sleeping.
Yeah, it absolutely does.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't.
It does.
It really does. It keeps you aware of dangers.
Have you ever woken up to a sudden noise where you're?
Yes.
Yeah. Have you ever woken up to a sudden noise or something and known exactly where your door is?
Yes.
Part of that is your.
Woken up and have to go to the bathroom and you make it to the darkness.
And you make it to the darkness, exactly.
That's different. When I need to go to the bathroom, that's a no actuation. That's completely different.
That's
exactly. Exact subconscious being like, here's the map of your house.
Right?
When you say
whether you know it or not, your subconscious does it.
My eyes will flash open, but I won't be directly aware my door is. I'll be aware of where the noise came from, whether above me, below me.
You're telling me when you wake up, you don't know what's around you? Your bed is underneath you. You don't know your.
Sometimes I do wake up, and I'm like, I do wake up, and I look around, and I have to take a second to realize.
I honestly think that's because you have a dreamscape in a sense. What Grease Goblin is describing, he doesn't have one. in a sense that he's attached to. He's describing what is astral projection, but he hasn't figured out how to project.
I don't know. Yeah. He sounds more like he's describing a war.
Does anyone else? Does anyone else imagine like deprivation?
That too. I can't remember the word.
There's a thing for that. Yeah.
You feel in that sense. You feel and
it sounds terrifying.
And that's kind of what that is too. You know, if you kind of face fears, you got to deal with to get through life. You know, these are things that aren't really there, and nothing's gonna hurt you. You're just sleeping. And it's just come to this.
Religion is right. There are demons for your soul while you sleep, and something's actually.
No, we can tangibly measure that this is a projection in your mind.
No, but there's actually people like we have
scientific
cases of. I mean, I hate to take this side, but there are documented cases of.
I agree.
Exorcists
people standing back like,
and this is what I was saying. This is communicating with spirits, and you have to be safe.
There's spirits in sleep, experiencing fingers sitting on them or over them.
Yeah, and that's the sense of that's also a thing that you have to sleep. You were in this astral sense around you. You will see spirits. They're not there.
But it's not an astral sense, though. It's you locked inside your body, right?
It is. You're right.
It would be the reverse of an astral experience.
But what I mean that even if you left your body, you still would see these things.
The magic,
right?
Would you?
It's
know?
Yes,
as
someone that's experienced these things, absolutely yes. I've experienced both of them.
Well, the only thing I can say for sure I've experienced that I also documentation about because I do take dream journals is the few times where I've actually dreamed the future. Now, don't everyone get up all in my head by that. It's always something mundane. Drawing a picture. Going into a room and turning on a light switch. I kid you not, it's something stupidly mundane like that. In my dream, I'm like, what the fuck is this place? What am I doing here? I wake up, I have the full image of it, and then I write it down, and usually between 3 and 6 months later, I have deja vu, and I look at my dream journal, and there it is. And I'm like, well,
Is it causation or correlation?
See, now, that's the problem. You're right. There's not enough to draw causation. But if you could just say it's just correlated, or maybe just because the dream was so full recollection of it because I was asleep, that I automatically fill in the blanks once I walk into a room. That's also something the mind does. So I mean, you're technically right, but like, it's happened enough times, and there's one time where I was telling Insanieac about this earlier. I used to have this ivory necklace. It was made out of bone. It was my favorite necklace. And one time I dreamed I broke it. Like I dropped it in my bathroom. So when I dreamt that, I immediately stopped wearing it into the bathroom with me. But 2 months later, I dreamt that I dropped it on the way to work. And I dreamt that I pulled it out of my drawer and it broke my hand. And the next morning, I opened my drawer. Hello, and I'm like, fuck you.
That necklace.
Fuck you. Is what it was.
Wow.
But
there's a matter of
I have lots of dreams. I have lots of dreams like that are just like quick little snapshots of something that then happens later. But unlike yours, mine are specific. Mine are really specific. I will dream like that I'm sending this actually happened last week. I had dreamt a few months ago that I was sending a very specific text to and it was something that was really out of the norm. I was unhappy with this person, and that wasn't something that I had expected to be when I dreamed it. And I found myself sitting on my couch in the exact same spot where I hardly ever sit and sending that text and went, oh, happened. Okay, then. And that kind of thing has happened to me a lot. Meeting people randomly in grocery stores, I dream about that a lot too, and then it'll happen. So
the ultimate devil.
It's not ever any important, but
that's so funny. Like I've had quite a few of them. I haven't had anything quite very specific. A lot of it has just been kind of random in a sense. Like I've had random packing from like moving somewhere, and it was like before I actually really and then my family completely had to move across Canada when I was a kid. It's like in the moment of unpacking, and I'm like, holy fuck, I had a dream of this. And I've had a series of them. For me, and it just depends on a city, but I feel like it's in a kind of have before we've kind of become who we choose the path we're going, and for me, it feels like these are essentially reminders for me that, or this is my belief that I'm still going the direction that I should be going. When I get this moment, I'm like, okay, good. I'm still going where I'm planning to go. So it's like mental reassurance that when I'm where I am is where I'm supposed to be.
That's good.
That's the way that I've kind of rationalized it.
The coolest one that I've ever had, though, I actually said this when I was asleep. When I was in high school, we went on a trip with the school, like with all the grade 11 students, to Guatemala. And one of the things that we did down there, we were split into 2 different groups because we're like 50 of us. But one of the things we did down there was we went into this giant sinkhole that was used for a lot of religious rituals and stuff. So kind of what it was about. And my group went down there one day and we kind of looked around and we left. And that night I wasn't feeling great, so I went to bed early. And when I woke, the people staying told me that I talk a lot in my sleep. So they said that normally I had been muttering, but then suddenly I said very clearly, I wrote this down. There's nothing like being on the end of the rocks to follow. That day, the group went to this giant sinkhole, and while they were there, someone was sitting on the edge, and there was an earthquake. This happened daily in Guatemala, and a bunch of giant boulders fell down and actually hit some of them. So I thought that was kind of neat.
Yeah, it's wild. Yeah. That's very good. That's like I said. It's a connection with your subconscious. I feel like.
Yeah.
It's all I can prevent copyrights.
For me, that it's wait. No, not at all. She was present for one, and sure,
there were lots of earthquakes. Like I said,
for me, my belief on it is that she just knew it was going to happen.
Yeah,
she was just there for it.
What?
Yeah. Maybe.
So
no. My class
do it again.
Subconscious knew it was going to happen,
and all that she was going to survive.
Oh, earthquake!
No, I'm not letting you get away with that one. Your subconscious.
I wasn't there.
That's I believe.
But like, wouldn't
I'm not.
Wouldn't it make more sense? Like, at least if I was going to defend that belief, would it make more sense to say at least like her like, oh, what's the name? The pile just knew it's gonna happen. Like her danger sense. That thing that
there was an earthquake.
You could say the animalistic part had taken over. Is that what like? I would call that more than subconscious.
When you're on, and again, this is a matter of belief, but when you're on a planet that shifts the planet's shown to shift on a certain regular basis from what scientists have measured. If you really have the idea of the belief is in my mind is that you've been here to plan that. You sit here to know the rotational planet. That's your mind is subconsciously going to be aware of these things.
Like I want to see that study. I want to see.
I didn't say it's a study.
Right. I don't understand
this measure that the planet does shift on a cycle.
Like,
I don't quite exactly remember.
What do you mean it shifts?
There's like the planets, like if there's earthquakes in certain areas, sometimes volcanoes create, and that creates more landmass.
Okay, so
these these shifts happen every certain 100 million years.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. Cycles would be massive amounts of time, far more than a human body.
This is the theory that they're working with.
So, I know what you're talking about. It's the idea that there's a vibration constant. Each plate is different, and each animal on each plate can feel the deep vibrations or something, and that's how they know that when a volcano is coming to clear out an area. But that's still a built-in danger sense. I wouldn't say that's subconscious.
What I'm explaining is a lot more than what I'm trying to explain, and I don't really want to go too deep into detail with it because it's based on personal belief, and I'm not going to sit here and try to persuade it because I don't have science to prove it.
No, I understand that. I'm just trying to tease it out a bit more than just say science, because I want to know where it's based from. But that being said,
I understand. Just saying it for me. I believe there's a lot more of things than we could ever comprehend in a lot of sense.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah.
So
I would agree with you there.
So then comes the age-old question, because most of us, if not all of us, have pets. Looking down at you, Reese Goblin. We need to get you like a gold.
2 pets.
I need to
get 2 pets.
Cats. Yeah, they're adorable.
He's got
they're real sweet. One of them looks a lot like your Jeremy's cat.
I feel like he would do better with a goldfish.